Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Outta My League. I'm Nick Diaz. Every time I hear someone say, Nick, you've got a lot of potential, or he or she's got a lot of potential, whoever, they've got a lot of potential in them, I always think that's a backhanded compliment, which really means you're underachieving. You're an underachiever. That's all I keep on hearing about LSU basketball this entire season. Well, they've got a lot of potential to make a run in the NCAA Tournament. Well, I'm going to now start asking the question, will this team even make the NCAA Tournament? Now, I'm not going to be all doom and gloom because, look, here's the thing. LSU is still ranked third in the SEC right now. Now, it looks like crap, but they're number 3 in the SEC. That's pretty good. And let's just take out the Alabama losses because, look, Alabama, they're going to be vying for a number 1 seed in the tournament, and they may go undefeated in SEC play this year. So let's take Alabama out for a second. Just take Alabama out. Without the Alabama losses, LSU is 11-4 overall, and they're 6-2 in conference play. And the 4 losses that LSU had were all to teams that at one point had been ranked during the season. And LSU lost to those teams by an average margin of victory of 6.5 points. 6.5 points. That's 2 3-pointers from Cam Thomas. So you hit 2 3-point shots in those 4 games that you lost besides Alabama. You hit 2 3-pointers, 2 more 3-pointers in each of those 4 games. You win 3 of them. And now you're 14-3 overall. You're 8-2 in SEC play. And you're probably ranked in the top 15, at least in the top 20. But the maddening part about all of this is that moral victories don't get you NCAA tournament bids. Actual victories do. Because look, as of right now, LSU has 0 quality wins on their resume. 0. Their best ones would be at Ole Miss and maybe at home against Arkansas. That's it. And despite being third in the SEC right now, LSU is considered to be a fringe tournament team. Joe Lombardi, his bracketology on ESPN.com, he has LSU as an 11th seed, playing 6 Purdue. Now, you're pushing your luck right now if you think you can only win against the bad non-tournament teams left on your schedule and comfortably get into the tournament despite having a winning record. You're pushing your luck. So, let's take out all the bad teams who are probably not going to make the tournament that are left on your schedule that you play. All right, so the bad teams, let's go take them out. Vanderbilt, Auburn, and Georgia. So let's take those teams out. Here's what's left. At Arkansas, home against Florida, number 22 ranked Florida. That's this Saturday. And home against number 11 Tennessee. And maybe if you're lucky, you get the makeup game that was canceled because of COVID problems, where you were supposed to go to Missouri and play the number 18th ranked team in the country. But that's not really looking likely at the moment that that's going to get rescheduled. So, 3 games. That's it. 3 games. And I would say at unranked Arkansas, who is playing better, has 14 wins, even that's pushing it. But 3 games, and that's it. Really 2. You know how they say basketball is a marathon and football is more of a sprint? Well, guess what? Starting Saturday against Florida, that's no longer the case. Win now. It's February. The time of the season where you can tell a basketball team, oh, well, this team is just taking its lumps. They've got time to figure all that stuff out. Don't worry about it. Nope, that's over. That's all over. It's time to squat or get off the pot. Just win one of those 2 or 3 games, Arkansas, Florida, and Tennessee, and you can sleep well at night knowing you're probably going dancing in March. And even if you do win one of those 2 or 3 games, you better hope and pray LSU doesn't lose to Mississippi State or Auburn or Vanderbilt or Georgia. Matter of fact, I'll take this whole thing a step further. This Saturday against Florida may be LSU's last chance to get into the tournament, because I don't see them beating Tennessee at home, because Tennessee has a significant size advantage against LSU, and every time Will Wade's teams at LSU have a size disadvantage, they usually lose. And I do think LSU may slip up in at least one of the games against Arkansas, Auburn, Mississippi State, Georgia, and Vanderbilt. We all know what happened with Vanderbilt last year. And they're all playing better. All those teams that probably may not make the tournament, they're all playing better. So Saturday is probably your last chance, because LSU almost beat Florida on the road earlier this season. Now this time they've got Sharif O'Neal to guard that tall, gangly-looking white boy who kicked LSU's ass because they didn't have anybody over 6'9" to guard him. So this is your best chance. You almost beat Florida on the road, but you don't get into the tournament being almost. You don't get into the tournament on potential. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter at @TheNickDiaz.